Hello, hola, bonjour, konnichiwa, ni hao, sports fans all around the world. Welcome to Amiels Talk, a special segment on this or that sports TV where you and I can laugh, have discussions and find solutions to pressing issues for yes people, the game we love. Don't forget people, the most important thing, like this video, leave a comment, share this video to as many people as possible, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Very important, people. People, we finally reached 5K and we couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. So we really appreciate the love and support that we have been getting so far. And we can promise you that our content will continue to grow, will continue to innovate, and it's only going to get better from here, people. Trust me. So continue following the journey. So, yeah man, people, I'm here and I'm thinking to myself, I have to drop a bad video today, you know. So I was thinking about schoolboy football, and people, as you know, it's coming to an end now with the Da Costa Cup and the Manning Cup coming to a close with the respective competitions and so forth. The Champions Cup, the Olivia Shield, and the other competitions that will be played for the Da Costa Cup as well. These are the things that I'm thinking about, and when these competitions are over, what happens next for these young boys, these young talented individuals? What happens next? And I believe that it's something that we have to be thinking of, because what, it's 5 months of schoolboy football. I believe it's 5 months. It starts from September or August, around that time. It's 4 or 5 months of schoolboy football, and then that's it. January, February, March, April, nothing comes to mind when I talk about for the youth of football, what happens next. So we have to put some things in place for young footballers, because let's be honest people, football doesn't stop in 5 months. Football is a continuous thing, and if it does stop like that, the progression will also stop. So whether it be the JFF or ISA or any other sponsors who want to help with this initiative, we need to find ways on ensuring that our young boys and our young girls, whether it be the JPL, because I also think people that we have a lot of talented girls out there and we need to put them at the forefront as well. We have to do that, people. So I would love to see, I remember back in my school days, there used to be football competitions for girls. I'm not seeing anything being said about it now, but it's very important. We have talented girls and talented boys in our country, and we need to bring them to the forefront. We need to be putting in some competitions where these children can continue to develop and showcase their talents. Every single chance we get, we have to think about these people. So, and another thing to people, I'm not sure if the JFF has any plans going forward, integrating some new competitions with some of our neighboring countries. That would be good to see. Partnering with some of the neighboring countries in the Caribbean and hosting competitions, putting our Jamaican youth versus other Caribbean country youth, and the more games they play, the better, and it's good experience for the youth of Jamaica. Just something to keep in mind. Another thing to people thinking about, going back on ISA, we have all these talented individuals, but sometimes it's so hard to get to know them or see how well they're doing or progressing on the schoolboy level. We have to be putting some things in place to ensure that our talent is being seen all across the world. Now you hear me I've been saying it for so long, that we have to ensure that we have some advanced website systems in place. So for ISA, you would need a website where it's able to, a website and database where it's able to like capture information of the students, them age, how many goals them score, where them come from, them born, all those are the things, the assists, the amount of minutes they play. I mean people, You see this for many schools abroad. NCAA, they have their own web system where you are able to search for a certain player and you can see all the information on that player's statistics, and that is something very important because that information that you'll be putting out there on that website, it can therefore be used to even send to a university abroad or in Europe or wherever, something for persons to look at and say, okay, this is a good footballer, I would love to work with him. What is his academics like and rare and if that is important to them when they're recruiting their players, you know? So it's always good to have these little informations on the website, and it's something to think about, people. It's very important. Also, we have to, I'm aware that some of the secondary institutions, they have YouTube channels and a few social media accounts running. Some platforms they're running and things, and they showcase their players to a degree. But what I was also thinking of, we should have like a player profile where all of them promising players are, not leaving out any player, but let's say all of them. We do a player profile for every single one of the players and bring them to the forefront. Give them at least 5 minutes in front of the camera. Allow them to express themselves. What are they good at? There are little things, what position they play, how many goals they score, what they are planning to do, what are their dreams and aspirations. Little things like that, getting them used to talking in front of a camera, because people, it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy to sit or stand and look in a camera and articulate yourself. Very difficult thing. And I really hate the fact that you have some persons out there who would want to clown somebody for anything like that. So yes, people, going forward, all the schools, I need the schools to be thinking about that. I am sure you can even implement it as a part of community service, because I know a lot of high schools, they have community service. You can implement it like that, and I think that would be a more entertaining way to get your hours up, you know. So invite some of the students who are actually interested in the sports. Them get a little phone, or if the school has the resources, them buy a little camera and thing, them start up a YouTube channel for the school, and they record the players. You keep a player profile and you keep that there. So if the students want to apply for a university abroad or whatever to play sports, they have that player profile there with some highlights from even their game, some player highlights. It sounds like a lot, people, but I can assure that I believe that we have the youth and the talent here capable of getting something like this done, because it's really not difficult. I've seen people just use them phone, you know. People can just use them phone and do the clipping, so it doesn't really matter how I get it done. I just know that it can be done. And if anybody is saying that it can't be done, people remember this. Can't is written in the book of the fools. When there's a will, there's a way. So I just want to encourage all of the schools going forward to implement more social media accounts with some more player profiles. You can, for your most promising players or what have you, if they show serious interest in going abroad and developing their football abilities and so forth, you zoom in on them and ensure that they have their own player highlights and so forth, and them doing the editing and thing. Yes, people, these are the things that are very important, and I'm really hoping and looking forward to it being done. Yes, people, another thing now, the reggae boys, people, specifically Omari Hutchinson. You guys know him. Youth player from Arsenal, recently moved to Chelsea. A strange move, but we're not getting into that. A very talented individual, and yet still we cannot definitively say that he is a mainstay or a staple going forward into our squad. Why is that? People remember, you know, Omari Hutchinson did not represent us in an official FIFA calendar game. Please remember that the game was played against Catalonia, and that wasn't a FIFA friendly game or anything like that. It was a friendly game. So he's still eligible to represent England, and that is very worrying to me, people. Persons, if you have seen Omari Hutchinson play, you know the talent that this guy possesses. And it is so strange to me looking back. Why hasn't Omari Hutchinson gotten 3 games the least for Jamaica as it? I'm trying to understand. I mean, he showed interest. His parents also, if memory serves me correct, his father. People can correct me in the chat. I believe his father is a huge fan and huge patriot. He loves Jamaica, and he would love his son to represent the Reggae Boys. And I've seen him a couple times in the stadium. A couple times. Was it a friendly or was it a World Cup qualifier game? I've seen him a couple times in the stadium, and I'm wondering to myself, why isn't he on the bench or starting? Because this is a quality player. We don't come across generational talents that often, and when we do, we have to grab it. We have to grab it by the neck and say, hey, come, we can't waste no time. Can't waste no time, man. I'm getting worried. You also have a few other players like Jaden, Anthony, the Lewis Bakers, and all of these young players who are eligible to represent Jamaica. What are we doing, or what is JFF doing to ensure that these talented players can one day represent the Reggae Boys? Are we in constant communication with these guys? These are things that I would love to know, because I would hate that when this season starts up back and Omari Hutchinson finally gets his big chance, big moment to represent Chelsea or start for Chelsea or get a game, and he does well, and all of a sudden England is back into the picture. I would have fight somebody in a JFF with that. I mean, a serious prime time news. I would have fight somebody if that ever happened. We can't afford to be slack. Cannot afford to be slack, people. So I'm just putting this out, putting these things out there. If any of you are aware of the plans that JFF have for our youth and the plans that they have for recruiting some players abroad or whatsoever, leave it in the comment section and let me know, because people, it's very important. I don't want that talented individual. We know that he wants to represent Jamaica. He's been to the national stadium a number of times, and yet still he isn't cap-tied. He's still eligible to represent England, and that they're looming over my head, it's not peaceful at all, knowing that, and just the risk of losing such a generational talent and want to look forward to people in a look good. So I'm just putting this out there. Hopefully we can continue to build a relationship, continue to get in dialogue. Even the Ivan Tonys of this world, even though he was a part of the friendly squad, I believe he didn't get any game. Are we still pursuing him? What happened? This is the perfect time now, because Southgate didn't give him a game. He was on the bench, didn't even give him a game. Wasn't even in the squad one of the times. So these are the things we have to be thinking about. So it's not really difficult to send a message or give him a phone call. Even the Hayden from Newcastle, I'm not sure where he's at, if he's still injured or he's coming back to full fitness or whatever. But still, players like that I'm saying, we have to be in constant communication with, because it can only help our team progress. And as for our exceptional players that we see in the schoolboy football, we have to ensure that we have systems in place so they can develop. What are we doing to ensure that their footballing abilities constantly develop, and when they go to the Europes or whichever countries in Europe and represent themselves at the highest level, they don't fall short, because we've seen it time and time again and we cannot afford it. We have too many examples of it, right people? We have too many examples of it, and we have to freshen up. Hopefully in the new year coming now, we can refocus and start implementing a lot of the things that I've said. And people, as I said before, let me know if the JFF are avidly looking to ensure that these things that I have voiced will be implemented sooner than later. But yes people, thanks again. This is Amiels Talk. I really appreciate you guys staying here and listening to my thoughts. Remember, leave a like on the video, comment your thoughts, tell me if I'm mad this me a talk, or tell me if the right thing me I say and the right thoughts me I push across, so the JFF can see it and think about developing some player profiles, develop some website, improve the websites for the ISA, yeah, and the JFF. They need a website, they need a YouTube channel, these little things, because these little things will go a long way people, very important. So yes people, leave a comment, share this video to as many people as possible, and don't forget, subscribe to this side at Sports TV. But yes people, that is it from me. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.